What is up, everybody, and welcome to the LBA Week 5 Season 5 pregame show. Now, this week, we are going to be taking on the Scandinavian Stoutlands, coached by Skyrander, who's a good friend of mine. He's a nice dude, and it's going to be a tough match. So, we're 0-4, minus 13. We got some pretty vital crits gotten against us, against the LA Nidokings, which caused us to lose, so that was kind of lame. But this week, we're going to try and come back. And this is my team builder, of course, and for this one I'm just going to try and emulate my team building process as best I can. So first thing we're going to do is, well, look at my team. We have no changes to it since the last time, and now we're going to look at the Scandinavian Stoutlands, coached by Skyrander. Now, his team he adopted from Grail, who dropped, and it's Chansey, Keldeo, Hippowdon, Scolipede, Mega Scizor, Thundurus T, Espeon, Cofagrigus, Diancie, and Stoutland. So right off the bat, there's a very fat core in Chansey and Hippo, but the thing is, he doesn't like Chansey, so there's no guarantee that he'll even bring it, because he straight up said that he doesn't like Chansey, so there's a good chance he won't bring it, but of course I'm going to prepare for everything anyways. Keldeo's strong special attacker, but yeah, he's got that fat wall core in Chansey, Hippo, and Scolipede's a big threat. Mega Scizor can be a huge threat. Thundurus T and Espeon are pretty relatively fast and strong special attackers, and he also has Cofagrigus for bulk, and Diancie can go bulky or offensive. And lastly, he's got the Stoutland, which matches up well with his Hippowdon for the sand course, and Stoutland does get the sand rush. And I do know that he loves his Stoutland, so that could be spooky. But basically, when I look at this team, I notice a couple things. It's really slow, for one thing. His fastest mon is Espeon at base 110, of course his Stoutland in the sand. It's very, very bulky. He's got Chansey, Hippo, Scolipede, and Mega Scizor can be fat. Cofagrigus, Diancie, all those things are pretty bulky. So, and also, he is mainly a most of his mons are physical attacking. His only real special attackers are, well, he's got Keldeo, Thundurus, Espeon, and Diancie, but the majority of his mons that threaten me are his physical attackers, like Stoutland and Scizor and Scolipede and those things, and Keldeo does run mix, so I know I can accommodate more towards his physical side and prepare a little less for his special mons, but at the same time not giving up too much. And so yeah, I'm just gonna start the team building, and there's one mon that I noticed absolutely crushes his team, and my head's kind of spinning right now, so if I like fall over and pass out, you guys will be there for me. But there was one mon that really took my eye, and that is Excadrill. I noticed that he does have the sand, so I don't have to rely on myself setting up the sand that much. And the set I want to run is Choice Band, Sand Force. And the moves I'm going to be running is Earthquake, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and it's just the standard stuff, and Rapid Spin. So, and, well, okay, so the set we're going to be running is 252 attack, and I deduced that I wanted to outspeed Stoutland and a max speed Scizor no matter what. So I'm going to be running Jolly with, I believe, 196 speed EVs, which, yeah, that's going to let me outspeed a Jolly max speed Stoutland, and I can dump the last 60 into HP. The reason I want to bring Banded Excadrill is because it absolutely crushes his team. So let's go to his most, well, let's first pull up Excadrill, and I already have it imported. Yeah, Choice Banded, Jolly, Sandforce, Choice Band. I said that twice. And let's pull up his most physically defensive Pokemon, being his Hippowdon. And look at this. In the sand, a Choice Banded Earthquake is a 2-hit KO 90% of the time after leftovers, and I honestly believe that he'll be running Smooth Rock, so this is, Hippowdon is Excadrill's most likely switch-in, and it gets 2-hit KO'd by Banded Earthquake in the sand. So I knew that, yeah, this is most likely going to be the thing that will switch into me, and it will supply the sand for me, and if he does that, then Choice Banded Earthquake is going to two-shot this thing, and it absolutely annihilates everything on his team. Let's pull up some other things. If he was running, let's say, a physically defensive Mega Scizor, actually I haven't checked this, but it's going to be less bulky than I believe it's going to be less bulky than Hippo. Oh, never mind, it's actually bulkier. But so if he's running physically defensive Scizor, it's still doing a lot of damage, and I seriously doubt that he will, since he does have Hippowdon, which just totally answers Excadrill normally. So if he runs max physical defense Scizor, that's actually fine, because then it's less of a threat, and it's still taking humongous damage against an Earthquake. So Excadrill absolutely just shatters his team. Let's just keep on pulling up more calcs. Cofagrigus has a huge defense stat, but no HP, and it gets 2-hit KO'd. Well, yeah, it gets 2-hit KO'd. Oh wait, no, I wasn't calcing in the sand, that's why. Yeah, 58 to 69 in the sand, guaranteed 2-shot, and that's why that Earthquake wasn't doing that much, because I knew that it should be doing more. So at level 50 in the sand, yeah, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Alright, I knew something was up there. So yeah, it absolutely annihilates everything, and basically the only two moves I really need are Earthquake and Rock Slide to just hit everything on his team. He has one thing that dodges the EQs being Thunderous, so if he doesn't bring it, then I just drop it in, spam Earthquake, and things die. And if he does, then I just have to predict around it, and if I can get the prediction right and drop a Rock Slide on it, then it's gone. Let's just take a look. Thunderous T, oh you nasty plot's fine. Yeah, Banded Rock Slide, even out of the sand, is a guaranteed one-shot, so I'm not really worried about it. As long as I can get the prediction right, if he brings it, then this thing will be toast. But if he doesn't bring Thunderous, then I just Earthquake all over his team and just annihilate everything in sight. So I really want to pull this thing off. Now, next things I wanted was to build a bulky core. So I knew that I wanted to bring a Moongus, and I wanted to bring Mandibuzz, and I didn't know what set for Moongus I wanted yet. I definitely wanted it to be a mixed wall, so it could take on Keldeo, because Keldeo is spooky, but I wasn't sure what I wanted for a Moongus yet, but I knew what I wanted on Mandibuzz, and since I had Rapid Spin on Drill, I don't have to run Defog, and I'm going to go with Leftovers. Rocky Helmet is also an option to get more damage on stuff like a Stoutland and Scizor, but I want this Leftovers so I just get that passive recovery, because getting off a Roost could be stressful, and some things do around 50% to me. Like, let's pull up Mandibuzz, custom set, and just lefties. So, well, actually it doesn't kill. But anyways, Stoutland, PU Sandrush Sweeper, Adamant Choice, Banded Return is going to be doing a lot, but let's say with a wild, that's never a 2-hit KO, but with a Wild Charge, I have a chance to live after lefties, which would be great. And so this is my main switch into Stoutland. I can take as long as rocks aren't up, I can take 2 returns all day, and I know he likes running Choice Banded, so I can definitely attempt to play around that. And Stoutland is definitely spooky, but as long as I'm at good health, I can Roost up and Foul Play if I get the chance. Mandibuzz also just handles Mega Scizor very well. I mean, let's just pull up the Mega Scizor calc. And Offensive Sword Dance. Bullet Punch is doing 25% max. Bug Bite, his strongest move, is doing 30 to 36, so it's really not doing anything at all. I can definitely eat up hits for days, and I'm considering Rocky Helmet, but I just really want that passive recovery so that I can also take on stuff like Espeon if he decides to bring it, where I can kind of switch in on a hit or something like that. So if he has Dazzling Gleam, then, well, level 100 is doing that much, but at level 50, if he's not Life Orb, then I can always live the two Dazzling Gleams after lefties. If he is Life Orb, though, then that could be scary, because I will be guaranteed 2-shotted, but I have other things to handle Espeon. So the moves I want to bring, of course, Overcoat, so I don't get damaged by sand. Of course, Foul Play, because he has multiple things that can set up Sword Dances, as well as Stoutland. He has a bunch of physical attackers that don't appreciate it. Then, of course, Foul Play. Then Roost, always a staple. And what else do I have on this thing? Let's just see. Yeah, so I had Foul Play, Roost, and then I wanted Tailwind, because I thought that'd be really clutch late game. And gosh, what did I have on the last slot? Hold on. Right, and my last slot was Whirlwind because he does have those things that can set up on me, and I don't really want to mess around with a baton passing Scolipede, especially since that new baton passing rule isn't into effect in the LBA, and we're just running max, and at level 50, 252 HP does give me an odd number, so that's cool, and I'll just go ahead and put Gus at level 50. So at this point, I also knew I wanted to add a couple other things. One of them was Gothitelle because he has a ton of fat stuff. He has a lot of things that I would really appreciate trapping, mainly being Dancy, Chansey, and Hippowdon, but it also does pretty good against his team. And the last mon I knew that I definitely wanted was Superior because it really works over his wall core. And so this was what I did. I added these mons, and then I decided what the sets were. So I first went with Superior because it was pretty easy. I just had to figure out how much speed I needed on it. So we just pull up Superior, and I'll just go to the custom set. And I needed enough to outspeed Espeon with HP Fire. So I have to run 244, or what was it now? I'm running HP Fire, so that gives me 31 EVs and speed, IVs and speed. So I'm running HP Fire, Leaf Storm, Giga Drain, and Taunt, because this just absolutely massacres his walls. It gets walled by Thundurus, and that's about it. So let's just say it's max, and what I need is to outrun Espeon's 178. So I need to hit 179, and to do that, I have to run 240 speed EVs. And then I can just dump the rest into special defense. So 240 speed EVs lets me outrun Espeon with the HP Fire because HP Fire does drop that speed IV. And yeah, I didn't really know what item I wanted. I've considered Lumberry, I've considered Life Orb, a couple other things. But the one that looked most attractive to me was Life Orb, just so I could get overall great damage on his team. And I do have Giga Drain to get off damage. And I'm actually not going to be running HP, I'm going to be running 29 IVs so that I get the most out of my Life Orb hits, and I can just dump that last one into special defense. So with Superior, it just really works over his walls. So I mean, Life Orb, Leaf Storm is going to be doing a lot to, well, just an Espeon, but that's just kind of duh. But things like Chansey, Chansey is a very good switch-in, even if it's not even running special defense. It's going to be taking a Leaf Storm for pretty much nothing. It's taking 18 to 21 from a Leaf Storm, but if he switches in on a Leaf Storm, I get to +2, and then I hit him with a Taunt, and then I can Leaf Storm again, and then I can go for a +4 Giga Drain and do about 30%. What that'll do is give me an enormous amount of HP back. So with a really powered up Giga Drain and Taunt, I can 1v1 Chansey to Oblivion since it has such a high HP stat. I can get so much health back in return, and running little health does also help me get more HP back from the Giga Drains. So actually, I'm kind of considering having 151 HP so I can take 3 Seismic Tosses, but since I'm Life Orb, I don't really want to do that. So that's Superior. And HP Fire, of course, to hit Scolipede and Scizor, which it's just going to do a lot of damage. And the Life Orb does stuff like it guarantees the one shot at +2 on a Scolipede, I believe, if he's offensive. So Scolipede, let's just say he's offensive because that's probably what he's going to bring. And just say a +2 hit, yeah, +2 HP Fire is going to knock it out 100% of the time, and it's also going to be doing that to Scizor as well. So Superior really just works over his wall core. It just puts a ton of pressure on his team in general. Like I said, the only thing it can't really hit is Thundurus, but if he's switching that in and taking Leaf Storms and things, I'm fine with that because it's just damage on it. And another thing is, nothing on his team outspeeds me aside from Scarfers and Stoutland in the sand, so I am pretty good. I'm pretty happy about all of that. So the next thing I wanted to figure out was Gothitelle, and I figured Choice Specs would be my best option because this thing its duty is to just break down his walls. Another thing pretty much all of my mons just do really well against his wall pokes, so I just wanted a lot of options. And also one thing that I did consider about Superior, another reason why I have Taunt, is if he does bring Haze Cofagrigus, I can taunt him and prevent him from doing anything. So I basically can 1v1 Cofagrigus and Chansey 4 days with this Superior and Giga Drain up and all that junk. So with Gothitelle, I knew that my spread, I knew my move, Psyshock to hit Blissey, or Chansey, Energy Ball hits Diancie and Hippowdon. I wanted to run Grass Knot, but Grass Knot's a base 20 move against Diancie, so I couldn't do that, even though it's much more powerful against Hippowdon. So I had to run Energy Ball to hit them both, and Hidden Power Fire so that I could hit the likes of Scizor. And the last move, of course, is Trick. In the chance that he does bring Chansey, I can just trick it and make it much more useless. So now the thing was, I wasn't sure what spread I wanted, but I knew I was, of course, just max special attack, and I don't know what kind of Scizor spread he's going to run, so I'm going to assume that he's going to just run a vanilla, like 252 attack and 252 HP. So I want to be able to outspeed a Scizor with 0 speed. So I'm gonna run Gothitelle, and well, it's not 252 speed, and I believe the number I want to hit, well, first we gotta put down level 50, so I want to hit at least 96, and since I'm running HP Fire, I need to hit 97 actually to guarantee outspeed him. And the HP I decided to invest in was, or the speed, I believe 104, because that will let me speed creep a Scizor with like 4 speed EVs if he decides to do that. And yeah, so that's going to let me outspeed Scizor, and it basically just do a ton of damage. Even unless he's specially defensive, I will one-shot him. And if he is running that bulky spread with no speed, then I'm going to outspeed and take care of this thing. And I'm very scared of Scizor. You can tell by the amount of things that have HP Fire. I've got HP Fire, Goth, Superior, and I'm bringing it on Amoonguss as well. I'm very scared of that. It did a lot of work against me last season, so I definitely don't want to lose to it. So we're running 104, which puts us at 98. I believe that's correct. Yeah. And the rest I just dump into speed, and I'm just gonna run 148. No, it's 140. So that, and I just dumped the last into special defense because I can. So that is Gothitelle. This thing does a whole lot against this team, and now it's time to decide what kind of spread I wanted for Amoonguss. Now, of course, I want Black Sludge because that passive recovery is wonderful, and Regenerator, so I kind of knew what I wanted for the move slots. Spore is just great. Giga Drain, Stab lets me hit stuff like Hippowdon and Diancie and just gives me more health. I need Hidden Power Fire so that I'm not just fodder for the Scizor. And I believe the last option I went for was Clear Smog, so that Scolipede didn't set up in my face. So, yeah, Spore, Giga Drain, HP Fire, and Clear Smog. Now, the spread I'm going to be running is, of course, 252 to maximize my bulk, and basically what I wanted was enough special defense for me to take 2 Icy Winds from a Specs Keldeo, and then I can pivot around. Basically, I just needed enough so that I could pivot around on Keldeo if he brings it. So the number I need is 124 special defense EVs, and then I can just dump the last 132 into physical defense along with the Bold Nature so that I can still take hits from the likes of Scizor and Stoutland. So we'll just pull up the calc Amoonguss. And this is actually really close to the OU defensive spread. It's just like a couple EVs off, but Amoonguss, custom set. Yeah, so 124, 130, 132, and 252. It's going to let us take stuff from Scizor pretty well. If he has Aerial Ace, then it's not going to kill. If it's +2, then I'm not going to be switching it in because last season that happened, and where I choked away a game really hard by sending in Amoonguss on a +2 Scizor that I probably should have known had Aerial Ace because I had a Chestnut and an Amoonguss to hit. But so let's just pull up the Specs Keldeo, and Icy Wind, it's doing 44.3 to 52.4, and without the sand, it will never 2-hit KO my Amoonguss, and I don't, and thing is, if he's choice locked and he goes for the Icy Wind, I can switch around or I can just Giga Drain and do a lot of damage, but Amoonguss just pivots around on Keldeo so well, and if he's not Specs, then this is such an easy switch into Keldeo. If he's like sub Calm Mind, then I can spam Giga Drains on it, and if I need to, get out of there and revenge kill it with my Superior. So I knew that Amoonguss I just needed enough on Amoonguss to take on Keldeo, and that lets me maximize my defense as best as I can so I can take on threats like Stoutland and Mega Scizor a little better. So Banded Return is doing a ton of damage, but if I'm at full health, I can hit it with a Spore, and then I can either switch out or start Giga Draining up. It also lets me switch into superpowers and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he'll be running a spread something like this because it hits my team for perfect coverage. And yeah, so Amoonguss plus Mandibuzz does a pretty good job walling me. There was only one or two things that really worried me, and those were Espeon and Thundurus, so I kind of wanted something that could get me a really good handle on it, but there was some options that I could go with. I'm considering Manectric because it definitely lures in stuff like Chansey and Hippowdon to come in, where then I can, if I play it right, I can pull a double into Gothitelle and trap those things, and once those are gone, then I can Volt Switch around pretty well on his team. Another option was Talonflame because it just works his team pretty well. It works his offensive mons pretty well, but it does get revenge killed by stuff like Thundurus, and it gets walled pretty hard by Diancie and Hippowdon. And I also don't want to be taking the recoil from a Brave Bird against a Chansey because that's such a high HP stat. So the mon I decided to bring for my last slot was T-Tar, and I was considering going with either Sandstream or Unnerve because I didn't really want to give his Stoutland. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give his Stoutland the opportunity to have more boosties, but I decided that I want to run Sandstream because honestly there's nothing on my team. I don't really care if Stoutland's fast because I have Buzz and Amoonguss which can take it on, as well as Tyranitar, and if he's running Choice Banded I can definitely work around it because if he's in on Tyranitar I can go into Amoonguss to see if he superpowers, and if he does superpower then I can just switch around predicting a switch because Superpower is not doing anything to an Amoonguss and I can just get Regenerator. So the item I wanted for this was Chople Berry, and that's going to let me take on Thundurus and potentially Espeon if he's running HP Fighting, but I wanted Chople Berry so that I could always live Focus Blast from Thundurus, and this is just my pseudo check to it in case things go awry because Thundurus is very spooky and it definitely could do some work to my team. If he is Scarfed, then I'll be kind of happy if he's Choice Scarf because that means I can play around it because I am bringing Ground type and Excadrill, so if I make the right predictions I can block Volt Switches and then force him to switch and get kills with Drill, so that's kind of neat. But the set I'm running is basically to hit his team as hard as possible. I'm going to be running Stone Edge, Pursuit, and those are the two moves I knew I needed so that I could hit stuff, just things in general like Espeon and Thundurus. I wanted to Pursuit Trap the Espeon because that thing is very scary to my team. If he starts Calm Minding up, it can two-shot Mandibuzz, and if he's Life Orb, it just two-shots Mandibuzz anyways. It's just really scary because I have nothing to come outspeed it and one-shot it right away, so I definitely want Pursuit because it does a ton to it, and if he switches, it kills it. So now I'm in a predicament. I've got Chople Berry, but I did some calcs, and Stoutland's superpower is still pretty much always going to kill me, so I don't really want to run superpower, though it does hit Chansey. I still have Gothitelle and a bunch of other things that handle Chansey really pretty damn well. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Crunch so that I can hit stuff like Cofagrigus because I want to be able to hit that thing pretty hard. And I can also still hit Chansey pretty dang hard with Stone Edge since it's a Stone Edge and it's stab and all that. And the last thing I decided I wanted was Stealth Rock because I had nothing else to set up rocks on this team, and it is kind of nice because it hurts his Thundurus and his Scolipede, and forcing switches makes it harder for him to take hits, so it's not mandatory, but if I can get up my rocks that'd be awesome. And the set I'm running is just max HP, max attack with the Adamant nature so that I can, it's just a tank, it takes hits pretty well, and it deals out a ton of damage in return. I considered bringing Scarf Tyranitar for a long time, but I just wanted this thing to handle Thunderous, because he could very well run it Choice Scarfed, but if he's Choice Scarfed, I can definitely play around it, because I got Amoonguss and Excadrill and all those guys which can take its coverage as long as I predict right. So yeah, that's Tyranitar, and I actually just want to see how much Edge does to Chansey. So I don't think he's really going to run it, but you never know. So let's just say I'll just put him as Adamant. And against Stoutland, Stone Edge is going to be doing a ton of damage. I could run Superpower and one-shot it. And Chansey, if he's running just 252 HP and attack or defense, then Stone Edge is doing quite a bit. Or I don't know, should I run Superpower is the question, because Superpower is a 2-hit KO. But the thing is, I get the drop, so it's not going to be a 2-hit KO. I don't really want to run Superpower just because I have other things to deal with Stoutland and Chansey, and I can just hit those things relatively hard in general. And also, I wasn't looking, but how much does Stoutland's return do to me? Because I know I can't take the Superpower. It's doing tons. I am max HP. So a return isn't doing shit. So if he's locked in return, I can go ahead and hit him with the Pursuit. And Pursuit Trap and just do a lot of damage. So it's going to be doing at least 52% on the switch out, and that'll definitely put him in range of other hits. So that would be ideal. So yeah, I think that's about it. That's the team. We've got Bandit Excadrill, which absolutely thrashes everything on his team. He has no switch into it if it's under the sand. Amoonguss, Mandibuzz, Core takes on his team pretty well. Then I got Gothitelle to trap stuff because it does, and it just does really, really good against his team. Enough speed for a zero or a non-invested Scizor. Then Superior, enough speed for Espeon, and this thing really works over his team. I can sweep his team with this thing if I play it right. I'm just worried about Scolipede. And last is T-Tar, which is a Choppleberry Tanktar, which can do a lot of damage, and hopefully it helps me deal with Thunderous or Espeon. And also if I can get up Rocks, that'd be kind of nice, because I don't think he has a great way to get rid of him. He's got Mega Scizor to get rid of hazards, and that's about it. Yeah, that is it. So if I can get up my Rocks, they're most likely going to be there to stay, especially since I don't think he'll be running to Fog on his Scizor, even if he brings it. And there's no way that he'd be bringing in Espeon to bounce back a Stealth Rock. If he did, that'd be incredible, but I don't think he will. So yeah, that's the team. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, make sure to drop a like, and I'll see you next time. Peace.